right in the right cheek. And I'm shocked. And I turn around. I'm like, did you just kick me? And then she just right up Main Street. Just got me again.
Right between the legs.
Oh, it was like a...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Under... That's a little throwback for Jude. Under the Influence, Season 5. This is episode 11.
11.
We're so glad to be with you. We've got a few fun things planned, but we're glad to be back. How have you guys been?
I've been good. Busy.
Good busy?
Good busy.
Better than bad busy.
Recorded a nice little announcement to put on the social medias.
Ooh, what kind of announcement?
A pregnancy announcement.
You're pregnant?
I'm pregnant. I know I've been showing for a while, but no, my wife and I are pregnant. And
are you allowed to announce that right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it's finally been put out there, so I'm allowed to announce it. But we are just incredibly blessed. We got to see the last ultrasound, like the baby's moving around, like stretching, and
that's exciting.
It was absolutely incredible. I find it just absolutely incredible where I've gone through in life and how much God's been in my life, and now I have this incredible blessing, and I can't wait to hold this little baby.
I'm excited. Boy or girl? What are you thinking, Levi?
If I had to guess.
All right, just
Girl.
to feel okay. Girl.
Yeah.
Perry and I agreed. We both independently were like, we think it's going to be a girl. And she was like, oh, me too.
I've been saying he a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean,
manifest destiny, you know?
Yeah. I have one of each as my stepkids, so yeah. I don't mind whichever way we go. But I've just been saying he.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk about the baby.
If he is a boy, right? If the baby's a boy.
If he means boy.
Are you going to go with that name that you used in D&D?
Maybe as a middle name.
Does Grace like it?
I've brought up the idea for names, and she's just very agreeable right now. We'll see how she feels once we get closer to there. But I told her she already got the name.
Did you got to lock?
That's true.
That's true. You got to lock that in early.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. No, we did not until like literally we were holding Roran. We were like, "What do you want to go with?" I don't know. I got nothing better.
Yeah,
that's what I want him to know someday.
I don't need a junior, but I do want to share the same initials.
You do or don't?
Do. I don't want a junior. I don't want them to have the same name, but I would like to share the initials for a boy at least.
I want them to be a JB.
JJB?
JJB.
Oh, yeah, because then
Jarrett
you could go by JJ.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute. That's cute for a kid.
Did you ever go by JJ?
Briefly in middle school, but it didn't fit.
Yeah.
Did you ever go by Jar Jar?
I did not. Well,
you could have.
What was that, back in the 90s? Is that when that was?
That movie?
Yeah.
I guess late 90s, right?
95 was the...
It was 95?
Was Phantom Menace, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 years...
before we were born?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 3 years before I was born, I went by that for a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I just mean... Because your name is Jarrett. Like, you could have gone by Jar Jar.
Jar Jar, yeah.
Could have.
Binks, yes. Binks is what... Oh, just call your baby Binks.
Call him Binks?
Yeah.
It's like this weird... Why do you call your baby Binks? Well, because I could have gone by Jar Jar when I was little, but I didn't. And so we thought about maybe calling him Jar Jar, because you could go by JJ. So we completed the circle by just calling him Binks.
Yeah.
We were like,
and it also kind of sounds, like a baby name.
Binks.
You know?
Yeah, like Binky.
Hey, little Binks.
Look at little Binks.
Except you got to talk like Jar Jar when you're talking to him. Misa, love you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
We're so excited. I'm happy I finally get to announce it.
Yeah, there was a previous episode. There was a previous episode of the show where we had some technical difficulties, and I got up to go help Shibs fix them. And while we were doing that, these two guys were just yakking it up, and we're like, yeah, we'll obviously cut this out, right? Well, that episode goes up, and like 10 people watch it, And Capel, you're out there. You watched the whole thing and you messaged me and were like, man, I love it that you guys just left in all that funny, quirky technical difficulty stuff. He's like, it just made it seem really chill and funny and derpy and, low budget. And it was like kind of a backhanded compliment or whatever. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so I went and go watch it. Editor Tim accidentally forgot to take that part out, or somehow they messed up in the render or something like that. And during that 10 minutes just of nothing, just not a show, they're talking about how Jarrett and Grace are expecting.
Yeah.
And I was like, woo! So I just took the video down until we could fix it.
And we were talking about me holding Roarin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, holding that baby just makes me so excited for my own.
Yeah.
And Levi's like, dude, only a year and then you'll be there.
Yeah. I was like, oh no. I don't think anybody noticed, but technically it was out.
But
for
now
an
those
hour.
10 people that watched, it's going to be less than that because you were one of the people
I was
that
one of
watched
them.
it.
So there's 9 other
Yeah.
people.
And also assuming that they watched all the way through. Our retention rate is not great.
Oof.
Well, views are just a click through, and they watch 2 seconds of it. It counts as a view.
Yeah.
And so people that just see it and they're recommended and are like, I don't know what that is. Click it and then are like, oh, this doesn't interest me, and click away after 5 minutes. That still counts as a view, but it does hurt our retention rate. So I think our average retention on a podcast episode is 20-ish minutes.
So if you have your phone and you're just scrolling through, and if you pause, stop the scrolling on a video, it starts to, autoplay.
Yeah.
Does that count as a view? Because it goes into your previously watched.
I don't know. I don't know if it counts. I don't think it counts as a view.
But it goes into your watch history.
But it does go into your watch history.
Yeah.
So
does
it might.
count?
It might. I don't know. We could test it sometime.
Okay. Just interesting.
Hopefully, all of you watching this, if that doesn't count towards views, aren't watching that way. But yeah, so last week, I'm pretty sure the last episode we recorded was with Carson, right?
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed that. This week we've got some fun stuff planned. We're going to kind of throw back to the old school days of Under the Influence, and we're going to do something we haven't done for a while. Jerry, you want to grab it for us? So you guys...
Where are we looking?
Right there. Didn't give him any direction.
No.
It worked.
Back in the day, for the old school listeners, if you've been around for a while, you'll probably remember us playing a game. Occasionally, so almost every episode we would do a hypothetical to open up. Not a hypothetical, but a hypothetical. And that was just kind of an opening question. And then every now and then, instead of that, we would play this game called Super Fight. Well, my dad has been going through the old episodes again, re-listening to them. I don't know why. That sounds like torture. But he's been doing that. And he said that it's been pretty fun to listen through, and especially he really enjoyed listening to when we played this game called Super Fight. So hopefully it's not just my dad out there that enjoys this game. I'm going to not use those ones because I'm pretty sure all of these are ones that we've used recently. No arms, armed with poison-tipped lance. Let's try and get some new ones. So for those that have not been around for the last 3 or 4 years, this is a game where you are dealt some cards, and when you're given the cards, you've got some options for individuals, and you have options for modifiers to those individuals. Basically like powers, or sometimes they're not powers, sometimes they're bad things. But they modify the people. And the goal is to create the super fight, like a super fighter, basically. And then we argue over whose would win. And usually we just do this to kind of get conversation going. It just is a fun thing. And then in the comments below, you let us know whose fighter would win. Do we want to do it that way, or do we want to play a few rounds of the game itself and just have a winner?
I'm good with one round and out.
Yeah,
it was
one round.
deafeningly silent. 1 round and out? We'll see. If the round is stupid fast, then we can always do another one.
Sure.
All right, so I'm pretty sure we'll each get some of these. I didn't shuffle them at all, but I did grab from the middle of the stack. I think we get 2 of these each, right? Or 3. Let's go 3.
3
it is.
And you get to pick one of those. And then I'm pretty sure we get some of the other ones after we pick this.
Oh, we have to pick this first. Shoot.
All right, I've got some good ones here.
I have. Though.
I think one of mine.
I've got pretty bad.
Okay, so there's one I'm going to trash. We like to play this way. We like to just say the ones we're trashing usually, right?
I'm
throwing away, just because it helps keep things not be so quiet. I'm throwing away Abraham Lincoln. Sorry, buddy.
I'm throwing away Hippo.
I'm throwing away the player to your left. No one there.
There's no one there.
It would be Levi.
Wait, no, you get the entire audience.
No, you get Levi.
Oh.
I would pick that one if it was the entire UTI audience.
Yeah, if it was all the UTIs. Oh, it could have been Shibs.
Shibble dibble. Yeah, definitely throwing that one away.
I don't know what he's saying.
For the viewer
For the
left
viewer
of
to the left.
Yeah, it would have been Jerry, but yeah, I
but
wouldn't
it's
want to
to
choose him.
Jarrett's, so I think it doesn't matter because he threw it away.
So
all right, here's the thing: I'm in a pickle because I've got a shoe-in win or I've got something great.
It's up to you, dude.
What are you throwing? What are you trashing?
I'm trashing Ninja.
All right. Oh, can we assume that that's a proper noun? That's the ninja. Because it doesn't say a ninja.
Yeah, the blue-haired Fortnite player.
It's the blue-haired Fortnite player. Then
because it doesn't say a ninja, it says ninja.
I'm still gonna throw it away.
Yeah.
I would have picked blue hair ninja. Or, I'll throw away Girl Scout.
Oh yeah, easy. I can't believe you threw away
cookies.
Levi before you threw away Girl Scout. He's like, no. Well, I know which one. Definitely not.
In my head, I was like, do I want a Girl Scout or do I want absolutely no one at all?
Man, I'm between.
Okay, I'm glad that it wasn't
between
me,
two.
I'm making a villain with this selection. For sure.
Okay, Shibs, I want you to tell me which one. Can you see him on the camera? You two can't look. Do you see him for the camera? Should I? One is an obvious gold mine. It feels mean. I'm gonna throw away Helen Keller.
Oh, that would have been unstoppable.
All right, so we all have our fighters. Let's present our fighters as they stand. Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
You can see my predicament I was in.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I had the John Wick or Helen Keller.
Yeah. But how is John Wick going to hold up against a vegan?
Pretty well, I think.
So, how is Keanu Reeves, the man who is an immortal, if you look at, throughout history, how he's never aged, and you see all those paintings of men that look exactly like Keanu Reeves, versus a vampire slayer?
Oh.
You just painted Keanu as a vampire?
Yeah, dude.
Good question. I don't know. How would Keanu Reeves stack up against Hugh Jackman?
I got to figure out a way to win this.
Well, here's where the
My
modifiers
options were
come into
vegan,
play.
a Girl Scout, and Levi.
Vegan, a Girl Scout, or absolutely no one?
Absolutely no one.
So I'm pretty sure the way we've played in the past, I've handed a couple out to each of us, right? And then we each pick one, and then we all get a random one.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Do you want to do the random one first and then the pick one, I think? That might be more fun.
Yeah.
So we all get a random one. So right now, Jarrett, you are presenting a vegan who can't stop clapping. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
They
Brand
can't.
new design.
Even if they
They're
want
trying to get your attention and tell you
Levi?
that they're a vegan.
You are a vampire slayer armed with a puppy musket.
You're shooting puppies?
No,
How
it's
long-
something that you shoot puppies with.
How long does it take to load a puppy?
I'm Keanu Reeves with 2 extra legs, fools. He can run twice as fast.
Oh, you're like the crab guy in Monsters, Inc.
That's horrifying. Keanu Reeves with 2 extra legs is so scary. Does he have the appropriate extra buttage too to like
Buttage.
No, they come out of his like it's the
twice as many John Wick kicks, baby. Twice as many Neo kicks.
oh
Wick kicks.
Dude, he's got
the roundhouse kicks?
What? I'm just saying. All right. These are your randoms. Oh, whoops.
Whoops.
You get to pick uno mas. You all saw mine.
Nobody looked, but mine was facing up too.
Mine were facing up, apparently. Oh, I'm bad at this. There we go. Now, there are also some extra modifiers. There's locations and situations. We only use those if we are absolutely at a stalemate and can't win. Or, like, nobody can be decided. But I think for the sake of this. So you get to pick one of these 3 to add to it.
So
I'm throwing...
are we saying what we're throwing away?
Sure, I'm throwing away armed with a nail gun.
So I've got something that would have been perfect for Keanu to have
Bummer.
explodes if they stop moving.
Oh, because of that movie?
Do you guys remember the hit movie Speed?
The hit movie Speed. So you're trashing that?
I'm trashing Armed with a Kitten Cannon.
Oh, is kitten cannon or puppy musket? Which one's better? Kitten cannon.
Kitten Cannon.
A cannon would have
Because
been
the
better.
sheer velocity that those kittens are moving.
But I'm the only one with a weapon so far, you know.
I did throw away a weapon. I threw away a nail gun. Your weapon's
You threw
trash.
away a nail gun?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Armed with a nail gun.
Dang, dude.
Dude,
Nail guns are powerful.
not as powerful as what I got cooking over here.
Okay.
I'm throwing away has an invisible jet.
What do you have cooking if you're throwing away
See, so I have
Wonder Woman's jet?
I have one that
No,
could,
it's
that
an
could,
invisible jet.
I have one that could make it fun, you know, like fun, but it's like it's definitely
Yeah.
dying.
I
And I
mean,
have one that gives me
like
a
Helen
chance.
Keller.
Yeah. Okay, I'm throwing away scissor hands. Constantly constantly clapping with scissor hands.
But imagine getting close to somebody and just clapping with scissor hands.
All right, I think
Tear 'em apart.
as of right now, I'm the clear winner. Just saying.
I've got a puppy musket.
I'm a vegan.
I'm sorry. Keanu Reeves
I
won.
have to say that 30 more times in the next 4 minutes, so
and
be prepared.
Keanu's just like, I'm going to kick myself to death. I can't listen to it anymore. All right. I'll throw down. There's 100 of me. Keanu Reeves with 2 extra legs. 100 Keanu Reeves.
It's the reverse of the scene from The Matrix.
100 4-legged Keanu Reeves. 100. That's 400 roundhouse kicks all at once. Go ahead, puppy slayer. You're a vampire slayer that can't stop killing puppies with a musket. Also, let's not forget it's a musket, dude.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw away.
Load that dog.
Just shove that puppy down.
I'm throwing away everything I touch turns to hummus. Because I want to, you know.
Touch John Wick.
Yeah, you could have touched him
I
100
could have.
times.
I could have.
But this must be good.
But I can control my opponent's right hand, so I can make all 100 just fight each other with their right hand.
Well, you can't change what he's doing, but you can control his right hand. So, like,
Yeah.
if he's kicking, you can try and make his right hand.
I can make his right hand just start choking every single one of them.
Yeah, but they could stay away from each other.
No, like themselves.
Oh, choking themselves.
So if I
It's a good thing I have extra.
if I
limbs.
can't stop clapping, but he can control my right hand, how does that? I can't stop.
Then I
Yeah.
shoot you with a puppy musket.
Okay, well that's fine because
Which
I'm
would do nothing.
riding a nuclear missile.
Oh, bummer. Gosh dang it. Jarrett wins. He pulled out the nuke card.
Yep, I care about animals more than people.
You're
so
riding
That's why
it,
I'm
but is it even?
crashing into Earth with a nuclear missile.
But you can't arm it because your hands are clapping.
It's already armed.
He's riding it, so it's moving. I'm assuming it's set to blow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna assume. What's the point of the card if it's
yeah.
a dud
No,
nuke?
that's fair. That's fair.
Huh? One. We lose
Ships
100 Keanu
just-
Reeves, but we
but-
gain one less vegan. That's horrible.
All of you may die.
That was Shib's comment, not mine.
But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I think, given that I'm action star Keanu Reeves and that there's 100 of me, if anyone can stop a vegan riding a nuke, it is Keanu Reeves, even if there's just one of him. I think I can get you on my side on this. But there's 100 Keanu Reeves. I think I'm stopping that nuke.
How are you stopping a nuke?
The problem is he's
How has
already
an action
riding
star
on it.
ever stopped a nuke? Dude,
Because they
all
have to stop it from launching most of the time.
400 legs. Each Keanu Reeves climbs on top of the
400 legs!
climbs on top of the last, and before the nuke hits the ground, the vegan kicked off of the nuke. Hear me out. And then they grab the nuke, each one slowly, and redirect it back towards the vegan in the middle of the air. You let me know in the comments.
I'm sorry. I'm using the hated producer mic. Am I allowed to help?
Go for it, dude.
I think you should be the objective
You're allowed to
judge.
Yeah,
help
you are the
me,
objective judge.
but no one else.
My reasoning
Okay.
there was just a joke, but
Well, I don't know if anyone remembers the second Matrix movie. Neo put his hand up and stopped a squid mid-motion.
Neo
squid?
did.
That was Neo, not Keanu.
Reeves didn't do that.
So I transfer powers from the characters.
No.
I think the only character that
But he could stop the nuke. In
Oh yeah, vegans stop traffic all the time.
I think that it is.
It stopped traffic all the time.
I think it's.
They shut down major highways.
I think it's fair to say that Keanu Reeves is like, we could say he has all the powers of John Wick, because that's basically just Keanu Reeves, like in those movies. Have you seen
the behind the scenes where he's literally dying after
still doing
every
it?
single.
So I think that we can say that it is 100 John Wicks, but I don't think I can say it's 100 Neos.
Yeah.
But so are we just going to agree that he beats us, or can we combine our efforts to take him out and then fight to the death?
If I stop his arm from clapping, then that destroys a sacred part of the vegan that can't
you
stop
make him
clapping.
stronger.
No. If I stop him from clapping, though, that changes the nature of who he is, and then he stops existing.
I don't think that's how that works. I think this card just goes.
Yeah.
And now I'm just a vegan riding a nuclear missile.
You made him stronger. I don't know. I'm pretty sure.
I think-
Jarrett
I
And
wins.
I'm
Nuke
just
wins.
flying in,
it's-
going, "I'm a vegan.
it's
I'm
lame.
a vegan.
I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan.
I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan. I think it's lame, but the nuke just. I think it makes him win. Isn't that incredible? You were at the bottom of the barrel, dude.
Yeah.
What do we think? Go ahead.
I think there are no winners in this one, right?
Well, yeah, we all die.
Well, no, the vegan actually is the most winner because they're wanting to,
Yeah, because there's
Eradicate.
no animal product in my body, so I'm not affected by the nuclear.
oh, is that?
I think that's how that works,
Are vegans
right?
immune to nuclear fallout and explosions? I don't know. Shibs, what do you think? I mean, I think Jarrett wins.
I think Nuke wins.
We need to AI generate
Jarrett's
Jarrett's fighter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll do some AI generated images for this episode of these things. But I think Jarrett wins. Well done. What time? Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
thought I was a judge.
I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought that was your judgment.
Who fully
No,
wins?
so yeah, it's a hard one because with Jarrett's fighter, no one wins. Everyone dies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I can't declare a winner, but I mean,
Can you steer a
surely
missile while riding on it?
if you can control the right hand of your opponent and make them choke themselves, that.
But then the nuke still takes us
Oh,
out.
the nuke.
Yeah, but I would be the last one
survived.
standing before the nuke goes
But the
off.
nuke is Jarrett's card, so I think Jarrett wins.
But I kill him before the nuke goes off, so then
Yeah.
I'm the last survivor until
I think
the
it
nuke.
has to be Jarrett. He wins post mortem.
Yeah, I think Jarrett
Yeah.
wins because Jarrett's weapon takes us all out.
Yeah.
All right, what time are we at?
Freckle passed a hair by my watch.
Do you want us to do another round, or what about the people? What do the people think? 30 minutes? Yeah, that's probably good. You guys want to do another round?
We could do another round and always cut it for
Patreon?
Patrons.
Fainting goat.
Come on, man. That's a great car.
I think I'm gonna trash Alien.
So I think that one will probably go on Patreon. So let's be careful about referencing it the rest of this episode.
Mentioning what?
So that was our game of Super Fight. Hope you enjoyed. Let us know down below which of our fighters you think would win, and if you disagree with Shib's ruling. I think it just makes sense. But now for another segment, update on weight. Weight update.
Wait, date.
Wait, date.
Weight update. Weight date. So as you know, we're doing a weight loss challenge, and we are updating you somewhat regularly. That's the word with purred happily.
That's the word with purred.
If you guys know, that reference, Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec.
I was talking like purred happily,
I haven't watched that in years.
dude. There's an episode where he's like, someone says pervert on his show or whatever, and he's like, and that's what I call my fans, the perdverts. So perdverts. It's so funny. So weight loss update. We've been doing this, and we did miss a recording last week, just to clarify for you guys. So we're doing, it's like 3 weeks worth of updating on the weight loss.
Yep.
So for the listener, Jarrett, you've lost since we started.
18 pounds.
Great. Shibs, since we started.
It's probably like it was. I was down as far as 7, but I think right now I'm at 5 down.
Okay. So yeah, there was a first weigh-in, and it's good we could mention that, right? Because we missed one. So last week we would have mentioned that Shibs had lost 7, but he's now gained 2. So he's lost since the beginning 5. Levi?
I'm down 2.
Down 2. And for posterity, I gained 2 pounds in that first weigh-in. But as of today, I'm down 5. So
that's our update.
But there is our weight update. So for you watching along, you know that we talked about all of us wanting to lose weight, and we talked about how we're going to hold each other accountable. And Jarrett was specifically saying he needed something to motivate him. So to motivate more weight loss, we decided to do this competition. So there is your update on our weight in case you're following along at home. We still need to know what we're going to do for the winner and the loser. I think we're going to get to that episode and be like, so what is it? But we had a suggestion in the comments. Did you guys see that?
I did not.
No. So on the last episode that released, which was the one where we respond to the Rhett Link comments, a Mr. Gherkenstiel recommended that the loser, so the person that loses the least amount of weight, that they have to cosplay as a character of the winner's choosing.
Interesting.
So that's
interesting.
So that's a suggestion that we have received, and I'm purred happily. So that is a suggestion that we received.
I could be Syndrome from The Incredibles.
You already are. That's funny because Perry and I were talking about how she thinks we should dress as The Incredibles for Halloween, and then just like as we have more children, be able to actually fill out the whole roster or whatever. But if we do, then yeah, you should be Syndrome. You and your family could be all the villains.
Heck yeah. Tomas is the Molinator.
It would actually it'd actually make more sense for you guys to dress as The Incredibles because there's actually the right number.
Yeah, there's 5 of us.
Yeah, and about to be. Yeah, well,
the baby will get here right after Halloween.
Yeah, that's too bad because then you could have Jack too.
Grace was like, when they initially said like they had the time off, and she's like, "I'll delay it." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I'm not missing Halloween. It's my favorite holiday."
I think. Oh, and you guys have the right age categories too, right? Girl, boy.
No, it's boy,
it's
girl,
boy, girl.
Oh yeah, Tomas is
Tomas is older.
older. That's the word I was. We're on the weight loss thing. I was about to say heavier. I was like, what's the word for of more age? Heavier. Yeah, Tomas is older.
Bigger in time.
Bigger in time weight. All right. Thanks for listening. We love you very much. Just kidding. That's not the So, yeah, we did Super Fight. We did weight loss, whatever it's called.
Wait, date.
Hold up.
Date
Jarrett,
weight.
you were telling me a story this week. Jarrett, store it. Jerry, I'm Jerry. Jarrett, you were telling me a story. Man, those words, combining them, each one, you just get our names mixed up. So, Jarrett, you were telling me a story when we got here, and I think it would be valuable for us all to hear it from beginning to end, each of us, because it's hilarious, and also for the listener. So we used to do a segment on the show called En Route with Jude, and Jude's not around anymore, and also he's not on route anymore. But I think it'd be fun if we recorded a little change to that intro, and we'll play it. So we'll do some silence here for a minute where we can let the intro play. But I'm going to real quick record this, so Tim or me, whoever's doing the editing, go ahead and pull this out. Jarrett. I'm going to put that over it. So it's en route with Jarrett. Like Levi's Michigan.
Michigan.
For those who don't listen to the
Indiana. We'll just do a different state every
Yeah.
So we're going to do an En Route with Jarrett segment. En Route with Jarrett. What happened at work?
Yesterday, we, for those that don't know, I work loss prevention.
If you're a thief, don't listen to this. You'll know he's in loss prevention.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I won't say who I work for, but
The government.
Yeah, say that too. The government. Government loss prevention. He works for Elon Musk.
With the intro.
there was a lady who came into the store. She was just doing quick laps, and she was just grabbing stuff and drinking it, bag of chips, eating it.
We can do that?
No.
I didn't know that we could do that.
No, you cannot.
Do stores actually care though if you do the like, I'm gonna open this and eat some and then pay for it on my way out?
Some people you'll get that. Watched.
Really?
Yeah, because you're consuming something you haven't paid for.
But so have you ever watched someone that does that?
I have.
And then they pay for it and you're fine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just wastes my time,
Yeah.
I can waste your time?
But it's also different when it's like, say like a diabetic and they're having like low blood sugar or something, they need to take care of it. Like, it's totally fine. Like, I get it. But there's more that goes into it than just like they're eating something. Like, if they're have a cart full of groceries and like they're performing normal shopping behavior, but they're also just snacking on some chips while they like, no big deal.
Really? I don't feel as bad now because sometimes I'll reach into that open grape thing and eat some grapes, which those are by weight though, so you shouldn't do that.
Are you eating like 20 of them?
You don't know me. So you're starting.
No, it's all good. So I was just watching her. She grabbed like a energy drink and sushi, and then she just walks out the door. So I go to stop her, and she immediately just takes off running. And she's like, "Come get me, fat boy!" Which we talked about. I'm like, man, this is really motivating.
Come get me, fat boy! Come get me, fat boy!
Because every person that I stop to see immediately calls me fat because it's the obvious. But I'm like, every time they do it now, I'm like, you don't even know that you're doing exactly what I wanted you.
You're helping me.
Yeah, and she
just weight is just falling away as they say it. You're chasing them.
Yeah, it's
you
like,
catch them and pin them to the ground. They look up and you're just like 120 pounds. I lost it all.
It's like Tom Cruise run around a corner.
That's true. They get around a corner, look over their shoulder, don't see you.
It's just
look around the corner,
off.
and they just see Tom Cruise clearing the corner. What happened?
And I'm just like
in baggy clothing, just
that would be
horrifying.
So she's just running away, calling me fat, whatever. So I'm like, all right, like if she's not going to be cooperative, that's fine. I'll just call the police. You can catch your charge. Like, I don't want to call the police all the time. But if you're not going to work with me, I'm not going to work with you. You know, you still stole, you committed a crime, you don't want to own up to it, I'll make you own up to it.
Right.
So
in prison.
Yeah. Well, that's where she's going. So she runs off the property. So I turn around to come back inside, and she starts marching back onto the property, and she is high on something. And she takes off and starts running back into the store. I'm like, my gosh, what are we doing now? So I'm on the phone with the police. I'm like, she just ran back into my store. I need my
chips. I need more.
And so I'm following her. And
I need more energy.
She ducks into one of the stock rooms, employee-only area. So I call my armed guard. We have another shoplifter in the office at this time. So he's in there for that. And I'm just on the floor. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to run down
just
to the
on the floor.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go cut her off at the other stockroom entrance because I know that's the only way that she has to go from the door she entered. And so she goes to walk out, and she's high. She's running around the store. I have associates in there that are like, what is going on? So I'm just like, all right, we're done. I'm detaining you. So I just pushed her up against a pallet of boxes, and I'm like, don't move. I'm waiting for my armed guard to get there so we can cuff her and take her back to the office.
Yeah.
So she's just arguing. She's like, you can't touch me. I'm like, well, you can't steal. So I'm like, call the police. That's my favorite thing. When they tell me what they think my rules are, or they're like, you're harassing me. I'm like, you should probably call the police. My guard gets there. She just goes into handcuffs, all willing, like perfectly fine. So we start walking back to the office, and we're walking. My guard and her are right behind me, and I'm leading a little bit, and she kicks me so hard right in the right cheek. And I'm shocked, and I turn around. I'm like, did you just kick me? And then she just right up Main Street just got me again,
right between the legs.
Oh, it was like a moment.
Imagine if she had 2 extra legs.
And she's kicked me twice in sensitive areas.
Yeah.
And she goes for a third one, and I just caught her leg. I'm like, you're not getting 3. You know, fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame
on me. Fool me twice. Shame on you.
Fool me once, can't get fooled again.
I'm pretty sure you said it backwards.
What?
Right?
Fool me once. It's shame on me. Fool me twice.
Nope.
Shame on you.
Nope.
Wait. Oh, it's not.
Yeah. The point is that you should see it coming.
That
the
I
second
should see it coming the second time. Got
time.
it.
Grace exists. The first time.
Yeah, my wife exists.
Yeah. Stop trying to erase his wife from history.
Yeah, her
Continue,
name is
Jarrett.
Grace, not Faith.
Oh, I was thinking faith exists.
by
And I'm like,
grace.
what?
That might help you remember.
So-
Saved by grace through faith. What comes first? Grace. That's his wife's name.
But
Go ahead.
so is the mom
So-
faith?
So I catch her leg, and I'm like, she's already kicked me twice. I don't want to get kicked again. She's in handcuffs, but I'm like, she's actively kicking, so we're just going to put her on the ground. So I just lift her leg. And she was escorted safely to the ground
By gravity.
by that yeah. And
He's a nice guy.
So we're just holding her down, and she's like screaming. I have her legs like folded, just keeping her from kicking. My guards got her lying on the ground, and police show up. The police like called me, and he's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in the home department in the back of the store." He's like, "Is that her yelling?" And I go, "Yeah." He's like, "I'll be right there." So the officer gets there, and the officer's like, "All right, ma'am, are you gonna fight me?" She's like, "No, I won't fight you." And he goes, "Okay, are you done kicking?" And she's like, "I'll kick him." Pointing at, like, looking at me. She's like, "If he gets close, I will kick him again." And she goes, "Just keep him away from." Or he's like, "Are you gonna kick me?" And she's like, "No, just keep him away from me." And he's like, "Well, you don't really get to make the rules, and you're not really in the best spot to be making threats right now. So, all right, let's go." And he like picks her up, we take her out to the car, and like do the report and everything. And I'm like, I have to trespass this lady, and the officer opens the door, and he's like, "All right, ma'am, do you know why we're here?" And she's like, "I assaulted him."
Well,
I did it twice. And I was like, "All right." And she's like, he's like, "Are you sorry for what you did?" She goes, "Not at all." "I don't regret anything I did. I would do it again 50 times over."
Whoa!
Oh my goodness.
She's like the perfect convict.
Yeah. And the officer's just like looking at his body cam and like, "Anything else?"
Yeah. This
she
will
goes-
be played in court.
She goes, "Well, I don't want to kill him, if that's anything." And I go, "Well, I appreciate that, ma'am. You're trespassing. You're not going to be welcome back."
Stand up
It's
citizen.
like, wow, what a saint.
Yeah. So that was super fun. That was
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't had an interaction like that. I've never had a shoplifter run back into the store before.
I didn't know that part of the story. You had mentioned some of the things, and I was like, when you were telling the beginning, I'm like, wait a second, I thought she was in the store. And then you're like, so she ran back in the store.
Yeah.
What a psycho.
Yeah. But pray for
kidding.
that lady. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
she's
shouldn't have
got
said
some
that.
substance abuse issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, but she was running circles around you.
Oh, dude.
Got all the way back into
Most
the
can,
store.
you know? Because I'm a circle.
It's a good thing that you guys are already pregnant.
Yeah, that's what my coworker said. It was an interesting day. So that's my en route story.
That's good. That's pretty funny.
En route with Jarrett.
Maybe I won't. We'll just do what we did as the intro. Us singing it. Oh, let's all three of us together. Like a little barbershop tri-tet.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Trio.
A barbershop trio. Shibs really wants it. Ready?
En route with Jarrett.
We didn't do the whole. There's not more of a song, is there? You gotta do it twice.
En route with Jarrett.
That's the one.
That's the ticket. Cut the check.
Cut it out.
Out of here. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's Full House.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
thought
Full House.
it was an inside joke. I do understand the Full House reference. So, what's next?
Main topic.
This is a weird episode, man. I'm feeling out of it today.
I feel very out of
I just think my body does need fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And eating basically nothing.
Yep.
It's taking a toll on my mind, you know? And coffee It can only get me so far. It's already gone.
It didn't last long.
No, because it's all I have. It's all I have.
It's the only thing that brings me joy in
Seriously,
life.
it helps a lot because like I'm trying to eat as essentially nothing, but I'm eating something so I can like take my pills in the morning. Because the mornings where I eat no breakfast and I take my vitamins, I get really nauseous for some reason. So like, there's been days where Perry and I are like headed out of the house, and I took my morning vitamins or whatever, and on the way to church, it's not just like my stomach is feeling gross because there's nothing in it. It actually makes, you know, when you're nauseous and like your head.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have to like, you actually feel like I'm going to puke. I feel that way every time. And so I am having to eat something in the morning. And I made these little like egg bites that are really good. And they're just like 120 calories. And it's just like a little egg thing. It's very tasty. Basically, you just blend up some eggs, some cottage cheese, and put some basil and a couple herbs on top. Yeah, a cup of sugar. No, that's it. And some salt and pepper. Really, really good though. And you just like put them into a muffin tin and then eat them up.
The muffin
So,
man?
the Muffin Man.
Yeah, they're egg muffins. They're very good. So I just eat that, and then usually for lunch I'll eat like I'll snack on fruit periodically throughout the day, and then for lunch be like, time for lunch. 2 fruit. 2 mandarin oranges. Whoa. Hey-yo.
I've been doing those protein shakes, and they've been giving me a lot more energy throughout the day.
Because the protein is what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the egg helps.
Egg.
Egg.
But yeah, and then sometimes I'll eat, if I've eaten lunch with Perry, like we've gotten lunch or something, and then I just know that I have to eat very little for dinner. But it's nice to eat basically nothing, because then dinner you can eat a good meal. You can like get 2,000 calories in for dinner and be like, all right.
Yeah.
Like last night.
I know. I'm up 2 pounds this week, and my wife said I could blame her because she's really started to get the cravings.
But you still
Here's your
chose.
chance.
Here's your chance to on air blame
On
her.
air, in front of all of the entire world, blame your wife.
Honey?
For gaining 2 pounds.
It's my fault.
There you go.
Yep.
Wow. What a man.
You chose.
Yep.
Last night we made steak. Steak update.
Steak date.
Steak
You know,
date.
steak date. You know, I've been making steaks.
Oh, yeah.
The Gordon Ramsay style. I switched it up, did a bit of a hybrid. I did them on the grill, and so good, dude. It was so good. It was really, really good. So I ate basically nothing yesterday because I knew I'm gonna eat a whole steak tonight. And then we made some veggies.
Just 2 ribeyes.
I ate 2 ribeyes by myself.
Dang.
No, I did not. No, they were sirloins. And I only had one.
It was sirloins, and it was 3.
I
Yeah.
love steak.
Steak's
I
good,
used to
Steak's good.
always be I would choose burger over steak guy.
Really?
And
That's
then
wild.
I've been that my whole life, and then
When you grew up.
well, when we started this weight loss thing, I'm like, okay, I want to focus more on protein, so I actually like started making steaks and stuff like that. Well,
When you
steak
really
is
try.
so much better.
Yeah. When you really try, dude. When you like steak, so good. Even like cheap steak, so tasty.
So tasty.
So tasty. So that's our weight update. Again, we just went circle back around. But
Steak date.
we want to, as much as we can, include the Discord in what we're doing. So you'll notice, right, in episodes we do the Discord meme review. That should be back soon. We've seen your submissions. There's many of them. But also, we want you, if you have like fun questions that you'd like to ask us, or maybe just like a main topic idea for a question, we want you to let us know. And in the Discord, there's a podcast. I think it's like podcast Q&A submission thread in the Under the Influence channel. And recently, we had someone send us a question. So we want to read that and answer it.
We'll just read it.
We'll just read it. So, let me find it. I had it pulled up, and then I went to a different channel. Like a moron. Is it that funny?
It was pretty funny.
It's so funny.
All right. So, now you'll notice this one, actually somebody in the Discord went ahead and answered the question in the Discord instead of, like, as in addition to us also going to be using it on the podcast, which is great. I'm glad that that Abby got an immediate answer. But so this was sent in by Abby Books 0524. So Abby, this is for you. She says, you've mentioned accountability and how that brought you to a better place spiritually. what does it look like practically to have others around you keep you accountable? Great question, because I think we do often talk about accountability on the show, right? We've talked a lot about because a huge part of the podcast, as we mentioned in that Rhett Link Part 2 episode, is like relationship, right? We're talking so much about, like, we want the focus of the show to be encouraging people to be in a relationship with Jesus, and then to be in a relationship with each other, right? And for that to be edifying, and to be edifying one another and pushing each other closer to God. So I think this is such a great question, because we talk a lot about that and talk about how, like, that usually is the answer to a lot of what we're talking about, right? And I mean, our theme verse is
Hebrews 3:13. Exhort one another each day as long as it is called today, so that you do not become hardened by sin's deception.
Exactly, right? Like, accountability basically is our theme for the season. So I think it's great that she asked this question, to be like, hey, you talk about accountability a lot. What does that look like practically? Like, what does it look like practically to have others around you keep you accountable? And I think that there's a few different avenues I can go too, right? Like specific things, general things, all that. But what do you guys think? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, your brothers and sisters in Christ are supposed to support you and hold you accountable. But the thing about support within the community is there's two aspects to it. Is one, you are called to confront your brothers and sisters in Christ in sin. To be there, supportive for them, and to point that out and to help them out. But you are also to be humble, because at some point it will happen to you. You will be the one called out. We went through this personally with my relationship when we were dealing with my substance abuse. And a lot of that came directly from holding me accountable, saying, hey, you say you're Christian, you believe this, and your actions are not following that.
Right.
Whether it's something on a serious matter like that, addressing some serious sin, whether it's simply, hey, let's do a Bible study. I have noticed you haven't been reading your Bible as much. Like the severity can change, drastically on that, but it's always trying to help your brothers and sisters grow in their relationship with Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I mean, like, that's the purpose of it, right? Like, that's the end goal. And so I think you're right in that. But I do think there is an element of her question too. Like, she says, how do you practically do that, right? Like, what does it look like to achieve that, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's because, like, we talk about that a lot. Like, it's your brothers and sisters doing it, right? So then that means being a part of a church, right? Mm-hmm. Like, being a part of those, having those relationships, right? Levi, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have a relationship where you're open to be vulnerable with this person, and where you both feel that you're in a state that you can be vulnerable with each other. And it's tough, starting out that conversation, being vulnerable with the other person. But to maintain that, you both have to be able to be humble and go to the other person and be like, hey, this, because a lot of accountability, it doesn't get, some of it, you can call out another person. Like when you see them coming to events where, substance abuse or whatever, or when you're saying, oh, I need to lose weight, and then nothing ever happens with it. But then there are other things that are more behind closed doors. And if you don't share them, then you can't be held to account by it until you're, being judged by God. So a lot of it comes down to being able to have people that you are able to be vulnerable with and say, hey, this is something that is going on behind the scenes. I'm trying, whatever, but I need you to be able to hold me to account. And then also that not only means that they will, at times come and ask you, but also you go to them when you do have struggles and issues.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think like the step one then, right, in the practical example is like having those relationships, right? And so really, the step one is getting them, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think, what's kind of implied too in both of your answers is like a level of honesty. Mm-hmm. So like when she says, what does it look like practically to have others around you keep you accountable? I think first, like, you're recognizing that you need that accountability. Great, right? And we've talked a lot about that, right? I think often we're trying to inspire people to realize, like, you need to have a level of accountability in your life, and that God has given us the church for that, right? Like, it's a great gift that God has instituted the church so that we have this level of accountability in our lives. So what does it look like practically? Like, being a part of a church, like being there, being involved too, like not just being a backseat Baptist, right? Like, don't roll in, sit in the back seat, and then bounce as soon as they're praying, you know? Like, be involved and maybe show up a little early for coffee time if your church has that, or whatever it looks like, right? Be involved in an other than Sunday gathering, right? Like, if there's a regular gathering on a weekday, usually those smaller groups is really where you're going to like develop real friendships with people, right? Because usually you're sharing a meal or whatever, right? You're actually getting to know one another. Those things will develop into, hopefully, close relationships with people in the church. And then, like Levi was saying, I think you have to be willing to go like, okay, I know I need this accountability, and it's scary to ask. And I think we're kind of talking in generals, right? Like general accountability. Like, go to someone and be honest. And then usually that's going to involve maybe a more specific thing. But I think, like, going to someone, like, maybe if this is like the beginning of your church experience and relationship with people at church, like, you can go to someone that's clearly in a level of spiritual leadership there and just say like, hey, you know, I don't really have anybody in my life that is holding me accountable to Scripture. Will you do that? Like, you can ask for that general accountability. And like, it might feel really awkward because maybe you feel like, oh, we need to be close first, and we're not close yet. I think that can often be like a reservation we have, like, oh, I'm not close with this person yet, so I can't ask them. Usually those are the kinds of things, like those honest questions, like something that invites some challenge and abrasion, but with trust and openness, like, is usually what brings you closer to someone.
Yeah, that's what makes a close relationship, and you know, having that tightness to a relationship.
Brotherhood, right?
Yeah, that brotherhood comes from having tough conversations with them about, you know, real life things.
Yeah,
and
or
not just
enduring,
surface level.
and then also enduring like tough things alongside people, right? It's not just like the toughness coming between you two, but also, right, and then like coming out of it, like that obviously produces that, like you said. But then also, like, having those people means that when extra external things are difficult, like, you have people to walk through that with you, right? And so I think I'm really trying to make that clarification, like, there's friendships, right? Like good friendships. And then there's brotherhood. Like, that's the next level of it. And I think that, like, that's what the Bible describes it as, right? Like that Philadelphia love, right? Like, that is, or the phileo love, right? But like that brotherly love that is really something exclusive and unique to the church. So I think, to answer your question, you know, it's like, have those friendships and then ask people, be honest. Like, if you don't already have a close friend that you know, like, oh, this is the person that immediately comes to my mind, and say like, hey, will you hold me accountable for this specific thing? I think that it is going into your church maybe and finding someone that is in a position of spiritual leadership and asking them, hey, will you hold me accountable to Scripture? That means the two of us need to hang out. The two of us need to be around each other somewhat frequently, and we need to talk and have conversations about my life and about the Bible. And I'm inviting you to be a part of my life and watch my life. And when you see things go in the wrong direction, will you please correct me? And I'm committing to being humble and receiving that correction. And also, when things are going well, will you encourage me in the right direction? Like, I think that's the kind of general accountability. But then there's specific things too, and I think she got a great answer from Mikey Noodles in the server, and it touched on, like, in a specific situation, right? Like, a huge thing people need accountability in is like pornography, for example, right? One of those things, like, there are also practical tools. So, like, to use this as an example, sometimes there's going to be practical tools to help hold you accountable. So for like the general, maybe you need accountability in reading your Bible more often, right? Like, well, maybe you guys can use an app where you read together and you can see that, like, oh, they read today, and I can hold them accountable to doing that, right? Or you're just texting them, like, did you read your Bible today? But then with bigger, like, not bigger, I guess, but also these other issues like pornography, you know, there's literally accountability software, right? So I think, you know, those may not be issues that you're dealing with, right? That's why I think we started off trying to answer kind of generally, but like being willing to go to people and ask them in humility, will you will you hold me accountable is the first step. But then with those specific things, like think outside of the box. And I think what those tools show us too is is part of that general answer, which is like accountability software. What it does is it kind of opens the book of your life and is like, hey, I'm not living like this specific part of my life. I'm not living it privately. I'm inviting this person to be part of it. So I think, if pornography is not something you need accountability in your life, if there's other things where you're like, hey, I'm finding it difficult to live my life according to scripture in this specific area, then how can you open that up to someone else? And so like if it's scripture reading, right, maybe it's a tool that helps show that you're reading and they can hold you accountable in that. If it's something else, like maybe it really is service, like you have a hard time being a servant, like you're selfish with your time and you want to do things that you want, then it's going to look like maybe you and that person going and serving people together, right? Like I think it really, whatever the tool is, it should be something that in that area of your life you're opening up and there's nothing hidden, right? You're being completely honest with someone else about this thing. And sometimes tools can help do that, like in the case of pornography or other things. But yeah. Did you guys have anything else?
I think that sums it up nicely.
Also, it helps just being around people to find things that you may do that you didn't realize was something that might be a stumbling block for somebody else, or you have like these issues that only come up after you let some of your mask fall off in conversation with people. And but to have Christians around you that you're spending time with, that as the relationship gets deeper, or when you see it in somebody else, don't just gossip about it to everybody, but ask, try and figure out if if this is a real issue for them. Then talk to them, confront them with it, not in hatred, but in love, trying to help them with whatever situation that they're in, and being open to receiving that as well, and not just replying in anger like, oh no, I'm not like that.
Right.
It's all a big misunderstanding.
I didn't realize how much I carelessly used cuss words until we started the D&D campaign, and I was like catching myself all the time. I was like, my gosh, like this is so bad. So I started working on it, and then I've had a couple slip-ups on the podcast that we've cut out, and I feel awful whenever it happens too.
Oh, it's also just funny because you'll say it and then like people around you go, whoa!
Yeah, holding me accountable.
Yeah.
That's actually a topic that comes up on the Discord a lot. People talking about like, hey, I'm trying to, cut bad language out of my life, or I'm trying to like speak higher of people, not just like cut people down. But the people group I'm in, my friends, we just do that all the time. So how do I do that? Because I'm around it makes it more difficult. And I think what I've often told people is like, invite them into, even if they're not believers or they're not people that like have that conviction, you being convicted in that way, God will often use that to so that the whole group is more likely to glorify him as well. Like if you're convicted, like, man, my language, my speech, it's this issue, I'm trying to make it better. Often it feels like you're alone in that, especially when you're in a group that doesn't seem to care about that. But when you tell them like, hey, I'm trying to be better, I'm not trying to tell you have to, especially if they're not believers, right? But like, will you guys help me do this? 9 times out of 10, people are like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do. Of course, we'll help you with that. And then it means like when they do it, they go like, oh, hey, sorry, I know you're trying to do that. I'll stop too. And then what's happened? All of a sudden they're getting better too, right? Like it's getting better for them as well. And so it has this other effect. Like I think when I was a young teenager, when I was working at the baseball stadium, I just remember hanging out a lot with this one guy named Andy. And I don't think that Andy is a believer. I don't remember it being a part of his life then. I don't know if it's changed for him now. But I do remember like we were hanging out a lot, and he would be like, dude, you don't use any bad language. And I was like, yeah, I try my best not to. And so whenever he would say something, he'd be like, hey, I'm sorry. I know that probably bothers you. And I'd be like, well, I'm not going to act like, you using language like that, it's not causing me to do it. Like, that's just a part of you. I'm not trying like my presence to make you feel guilty, you know. But he had like kind of committed to me, you know, like, hey, when you're around, I do try not to, because I know it bothers you and that you try not to. And I was like, well, I appreciate that, thank you. And then I remember thinking about that at home, being like, dude, that just means like for him, he's watching his language, and maybe it's causing him to think about like the things he says, you know, like that's great, like less careless words. And Andy, if you're
was
listening,
such a nice guy.
Yeah,
I haven't spoken
Andy
to
is,
him in years.
He's one of the nicest people. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not speaking. I don't mean to speak ill of him at all. Like, I think if Andy were here, he'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Andy really is a really nice guy. He worked at Winco for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd see him. Dude, that guy lost a ton of weight and then got buff. Like, pretty cool. But yeah, I miss Andy. He was really nice, cool guy. We hung out a lot that summer. Played a bunch of video games and ate a lot of pizza. So yeah, I think it's a good question. We talk about accountability a lot. We talk about like why you should have it, how you should act within the confines of it, you know, being humble and being willing to be corrected and hold other people accountable. But it's good to clarify like what are some practical ways. And I really think the biggest thing is being involved in the church, not just going, but being involved. And so if you're not a member of a church, right, like at Christian Influence, we try as hard as we can to reach those people that are isolated on the internet. They're not a part of a local community, and encourage them to be a part of one. Like we know that just being a part of the Christian Influence community, even if you're there every day, going to our Bible studies and stuff like that, that's not enough. Like you need to be living your life around fellow believers. You need to be going to a church, right, and be involved. And so if you do go to church, like how can you be more involved, continue to foster the relationships with people there? It's really easy to be kind of a fly on the wall at church, especially if you're alone. Like maybe you don't have a family, you go there on your own. I think it's probably really easy to be a fly on the wall. Mm-hmm. So make that your family, right? Even if you have a family, like incorporate into the body of Christ and be a part of it. And then like be a part of other people's life and let them be a part of yours, and ask for it. Like, how can you have someone hold you accountable? Like, ask them to, you know, and then and promise to do the same for them. But I think that's a good question. I'm really glad she asked that. Thank you, Abby. You rock. And for the people out there listening, if you have other things that you'd like us to talk about, or maybe just clarify, I mean, we've talked about something in the past and you're like, hey, I want to pick your brain on this or hear you guys talk about that, whatever it is. Go to discord.gg/ChristianInfluence and go to the Under the Influence channel, hit the top, click threads, go to the podcast Q&A submissions, and put in your questions for us to answer. I will admit, we did miss one.
No.
From our good friend Bryce B. Young. He said, how do you know that your wife was the one for you? So maybe we'll make this Patreon also. So real quick, we're going to do this again. We've got a question here from Bryce. How do you know that your wife was the one for you? I don't need to know, but someone might. Also, sorry, Levi, is what his message says. And I see that somebody put a little tear emoji on it. That was Levi. So how do you know that your wife was the one for you? Should we make this like a main topic, like about marriage, like about like how to look for a spouse? Should we make that a main topic? Like, I mean, is that rude to you?
I think I don't know.
Like, are you comfortable talking about that?
Sure.
All right, we'll just do it in the future.
I've not got, you know.
Well, I think you can talk about it from like how are you? Like, how should you be looking?
From a seeking point of view.
Yeah, like it's good that we're not all three in the similar or the same boat. Like, you can talk about it from a different perspective. I don't think you have to answer the question from the perspective like, how did you know that your wife was? You could say like, how should I be looking?
How will you know your wife
is? Recognize Levi's not the only single one.
Yeah,
part of the podcast.
But he's the only single one on the panel here. But that's true. And
the takeover.
But I can definitely tell you the things to not.
Fair point. So I think, you know what, Bryce, we'll answer that next episode.
Next time on Under the Influence, Bryce's question gets answered.
We love you very much.
Roll the outro.
That's a good one.